everyone, this is pspgameboy, and I'm finally going to answer some questions for my very long and overdue Q&A number 2 vid. Before I start, I guess I should explain about why it took me so damn long to get this done. Well, when I uploaded the video to get questions for the second Q&A about a year ago, I was just waiting for more questions before I start making the second Q&A vid. Unfortunately, a few months later, while I was waiting for more questions, I sort of lost interest in making my own vids, mostly due to college, my laziness, and some other stuff that happened that I'm not going to talk about. In fact, I still haven't been in the mood to make vids again right now, but I just wanted to get this vid out of the way since it was way overdue. And I apologize to the people that had asked me some questions for being late. Anyways, let's get started on answering these questions. First question from Duke Nukem 3DO asks, did you watch Soul Eater? If you did, what's your thoughts on it? Yeah, I watched Soul Eater a few months ago, and I thought it was pretty good. The animation was nice, and it had likable characters that made me laugh. Also, the anime isn't really that long to finish. I think it was around 50 episodes. I don't remember. Second question he asks, what's your favorite female anime character? Oh man, that is a very tough question. I mean, there's so many of them to choose from. Well, there's a few types that I like, from the tough female characters that can defend themselves to the kind and humble characters that don't give up hope, and just to the female characters that are kind of dumb that makes me laugh. Well, the female characters that you're seeing right now is just a small sample to the big list of female characters that I like. So there you go. Alright, the next question comes from Metroid Prime Fan 18, and his first question is, favorite genre of video games? Well, there's a couple of genres I like. That would be action, adventure, beat 'em ups, open world sandbox, fighting, hack and slash, puzzle, RPGs, first person shooters, third person shooters, shoot 'em ups, stealth, survival horror, and turn-based strategy. His last question is, what is your least favorite? Well, that would be realistic sport games, party games, simulation, RTS, and MMORPGs. Next question comes from seedotface, and he asks, if you could voice a video game character, who would that be? Probably the silent characters that make few noises, like when they're being attacked or something. Honestly, I never thought of myself as a voice actor. I mean, any character that I could think of that does talk would probably sound better from the original actor. So yeah. Next questions come from Tifa310, and she asks, top 3 favorite anime shows, favorite character from each show, and why? Damn, that is such a hard question to answer. Well, I can't think of an order, but this is just my 3 guesses. And the first one would be Dragon Ball to Dragon Ball Z. Okay, so it's not perfect because it kind of drags on too long, but it was one of the first animes that I watched. While the first one had more comedy, the second was more about fighting. And as for character, that's not really easy either, but I guess I'll just go with Piccolo because of his personality, and some of his attacks are pretty cool. The second one will be Full Metal Alchemist because it had such a great story mixed with humor and some serious moments and possibly one of the best English dubs ever. And as for my favorite character, that would probably be Colonel Hughes. I mean, he's pretty funny and serious at the same time, especially with his daughter. It's just too bad what happens to him later on. The last one is gonna be Cowboy Bebop, because it has such a great story, great characters, great soundtrack, and it's only like 26 episodes long. So even if you miss one episode, you wouldn't be confused of what's going on. And I think, honestly, even if you weren't a fan of anime, this is probably a show that you would still like anyways. And as for my favorite character, that would be Spike, because of his personality and his abilities. So there you go. The last question that she asked was 3 least favorite anime shows. Oh man, I don't want to remember what they are. Well, I'm just gonna say that Bo, or whatever it is, the one with the many bows in the damn title. Beyblade and Final Fantasy Unlimited. I'm so disgusted that that uses the Final Fantasy name, but there you go. The next questions comes from Evil AJ 2010, and he asks, if a fly had no wings, would it be called a walk? It might as well be, I guess. I mean, a fly was a stupid name to begin with, and if you can't fly, well, yeah. And his last question is, winter or summer? It doesn't really matter to me, since I get a break from college during those times. Well, it doesn't snow around here where I live during the winter, but it rains, and I like the sound of it when I go to sleep, so winter, I guess. And the last question comes from foship, and he asks, when Tatsunoko vs. Capcom comes out in the US, which new characters would you like in the game? 3 for Tatsunoko and 2 for Capcom. Well, this is my fault for answering late, since the game obviously came out a few weeks ago. But the characters that I would have wanted. Well, since I didn't know that many Tatsunoko characters, so the only 3 I could think of was Tekkaman Blade, which he is in the game, Samurai Pizza Cats, and either Speed Racer or Racer X. And as for Capcom, there's a bunch that I could think of, but the 2 characters that I wanted was Dante from Devil May Cry and Jean from God Hand. Even though they're not in the game, the final roster was good enough. So there you go. Well, those were all the questions for my second Q&A bit. Once again, I apologize for answering these questions very late to the people that gave me these questions, and thanks for giving them to me. Who knows, maybe I'll start making some more vids again soon. Possibly some more Q&As. Anyways, this has been pspgameboy. Later, guys.